afternoon, class teacher, mathematics teacher, and our dear friends. Today, me, Bhagwan, and US, we are going to explain and introduce our function. And I will cover all topic, and I will try to cover it within 5 minutes. Bhagwan will solve question, and US will try to give techniques and tricks to solve question. So function. So first, what is definition of function? If function if f is any of the if we define f as any of the function from set A to B, then it just works like a machine. We give input to A and we will receive output from B, like let y equals to x plus 3b any of the function. Then let x be -1. Then we will get y as 2. So for any of the input given in A, we will get unique element from B. Function can also be represented in a mapping diagram, x, y, and z. Let's suppose this A, B, C, D. This is one of the functions, which is many to one function. So function, we can define function from set A to B such that each element of set A associates with at least one element of set B, and there should be only one element. There should be only one image of each element of set A or set B, and there are three types of function based on mapping diagram. They can be injective, surjective, and then bijective. Injective function, also known as one-to-one function, where distinct elements of set A are associated with distinct elements of set B. For example, like so this can be regarded as injective or one-to-one function. In this function, x1 cannot equal to x2 for this function to be true, so that fx cannot be equal to fx. So the only concept is that distinct elements must associated distinct elements of set A which must associate with distinct. And now for surjective, this is also known as onto function. So in this function, each element from set B must have at least one preimage of it in set A. So we can regard this as onto function. So here the concept is that codomain of B must be equal to range of B. B must equal to range of B. Now comes bijective function. So this function where both injective and it is just like union of both injective plus surjective function. So, so for this we can take example like 1, 2, and 3 associates with 4, 5, and 6. Like, and this must be onto as well as one-to-one function. So this is one-to-one function and this is also onto function. So we can say this as bijective. So there are two chapters in function. First one, it defines classic definition of function, and second one is of inverse. So for inverse, the function must be onto and one-to-one.
6 minutes.
One-to-one.
6 minutes already gone.
So inverse function can be defined if a function f is onto and if a function is also one-to-one, then inverse function can be defined as function defined from B to A. So the resulting function is also one-to-one and onto. Now, if any function is like many to one, just like this, many to one, then if we inverse this, then it comes one to many, which does not define for function. So that many to one cannot be inverse function. So this both function must be true.
Good afternoon, everybody, and I am here to solve the problem related to this injective, surjective, and bijective function. And as given in the question, it is given that the range of the function is from -2 to 2 and it belongs to real numbers, and given as given and for one-to-one function, we suppose two variables x1 and x2 which belongs to real numbers, and and as given in the question, the range is from -2 to 2, and when we put the value of this range in this given fx, we get 4 equals to 4, and for a function to be one-to-one, the image should be different, but according to this question, the image of two different elements are same, therefore it is not one-to-one function. And for on the function we suppose fx is y and in solving we get this and we need to put the value of this given and is given by the question. The range is from -2 to 2, but it also belongs to real number, and for S16 is real number. When we put the value of y as 16, then it comes from it is not in this range, therefore it is not onto function.
Good morning, all of you. I'm going to share some tips and techniques to solve the question. This topic will be highlighted to solve, and we know that in of a to b is, if a to b is a function, then the function b to a is the inverse of that function. And to solve this, we replace if given function is, for example, fx equals to x squared and y equals to x squared, we interchange the value of x and y, and we isolate the y term, and the obtained function is the reverse of this function. And for into and onto, that Bhagwan has already described a lot, so it will be skipped to find. And now for this f of gx and g of f. Here in f of gx, the whole gx function is treated as x for the function f, and we are replacing that this gx term in that function f. And similarly in g of fx, this function whole fx function is treated as x, and this is going to be replaced in g function, and the answer will be obtained. Domain and range. Domain are these a terms with a elements of a which are connected to b, and range are the b elements of b. To find domain and range, we have to first find the value of x which is defined in b. So for example, if we take y equals to x square again, for to be the domain defined from y equals to x square, the range is infinity, domain is infinity to infinity, because for every real number of every real number of x, y is defined. So if we keep 1, 2, 3 up to infinity, or minus up to infinity, the value of y will be defined. Similarly for range, it is quite the opposite of this, and for this we have to find the value of y such that the value x is defined. For example, let's take same question, and this will be root y equals to x. since the y is not defined, x is not defined when the value of y is less than 0, the range of the function will be from 0 to infinity. Thank you.